Bow chicka, wait. Bow chicka wow wow.
Chicka wow wow. Welcome to this episode
of the Property Wives Podcast.
That was epic. This is an update episode, and in this update episode, we are updating that we think we're changing our podcast name from Brave in Love to the Property Wives Podcast because it's way catchier, and then we're just doing too many things, and we just need to put them all under one name.
Yeah, and everyone loves the Property Wives. Like, the Property Wives is just catchy. And yeah, so I think we're making that update. It just sounded pretty good as we said it. So.
Yeah.
I'm liking it so far.
Mm-hmm. We welcome people home. And we do that through real estate. We do that through personal coaching. We do that through Riley is in the process of publishing her first book. Called The Credential of Being Human.
Yes.
We can help you welcome yourself home to believe the value of your story through reading her book. Through my books and courses and podcasts that will be coming out soon. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that we do and a lot of things that we have coming down the pipeline. And we just wanted to make this episode and kind of talk about those things.
Yeah, so this is our update episode and our, like you had just said, just manifesting our visions, because it's really important to put it out there what you want. And you never know who you're going to meet who has a similar vision and is like, wait, if you have this brain and I have this brain, we can do this together.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. So where do we want to start? So we're the Property Wives, and that birthed out of our good friend. Actually, this is like kind of funny. This was my Spanish teacher from high school. Her husband was like, we were telling him we're a real estate team. I don't know how he said this, but he was
said, we want to, you know how like on HGTV or something, people buy homes and then they renovate them and then they rent them out. We eventually want to have a bunch of Airbnbs that help people heal though. So like our first one we want to do is called the Rainbow House, and we want to have a Rainbow House where people year round are hosting like queer retreats there and helping queer community have safe space to exist and become the fullest version of themselves. And, but we were telling them about our vision of like, I'm a realtor. I was currently a realtor. And I said, we want to be a real estate team. We want to own properties in real estate. We want to help people build wealth through real estate. And he said, oh, like the Property Brothers, but you're the Property Wives.
And it just stuck. Like, I'm telling you, we are now, when we first I wanted to move to Berthoud for years because I would drive from Fort Collins to Boulder to see a mentor. And I'd pass this little town with the most beautiful mountain range and was like, I am moving to Berthoud one day. This is really important that I move to Berthoud. So then I met Kaylee, fast forward, tell her we're moving to Berthoud. And she's like, wait, I'm a realtor and I don't even know where Berthoud is, because she was doing stuff south of Denver. But we ended up being like, well, it's like kind of like a rural town. So will they accept a lesbian couple? So we like went around shop to shop and we're like, what do you think of the LGBTQIA plus population? And they were like, all good things. We know plenty of gay people. And so
it's like when you are black and someone's like, oh, I know a black person.
It's like, okay. No, but it was actually really great. And everyone...
And it's been great, and we love living here.
Yeah, we love it here. We've had a couple incidences where
we
people...
don't talk about them online, though.
No. I'm just saying, we've had a couple of times. I'm just being, like, really raw and honest. I think it's important that we don't broadcast, like, this town is the most perfect town ever, and, like, if you're gay, you should move here, because there are people who are homophobic that still exist in this town. Oh, yeah. And so, but for the most part, we've had a really good time, and people have gotten to know us as the Property Wives, and we're like little celebrities now in town for being the Property Wives.
A woman literally stopped us walking down the street the other day and said that. She was like, are you the Property Wives? Oh my gosh, I feel like I just met a celebrity.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's so great. We go into restaurants, they all know us. And so we just love the community we're creating. We want to stay here, and our dream is to find some land to build our own home and to raise like 5 kids-ish around that. Yeah, well, at least 5 kids. That is one of both of our like big goals. Is we've been going through fertility for 2.5 years, and it has been a long, exhausting journey. As many of you know, you have followed, we got through the egg retrieval process. We got 7 embryos. We talk about that on other podcast episodes, but there's always just like, I feel like something like wrong every month that postpones it till the next month. And so it's been something that's hard to stay optimistic about, but we're trying really hard to know that like our dream family will come at the right time.
Yeah. Our big dreams are to, on that land, also host healing retreat centers, or have healing retreat centers, maybe not on the land we live on, but we think we want to buy land and start there by hosting people so that they can heal. Then we'll go from there. We also have dreams of owning a home in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is like a very, very potent, powerful healing space for me. And I'm hoping to get my wife there this year. We're manifesting that we're going to Costa Rica this year. So both of us can just have some time healing. We have so many clients that we love that we get to work with through real estate. And we've built such a beautiful community. On Sundays, to foster that community, we're hosting Property Wives patio hangs, and we're just finding different spaces. Some days we're going to do it at parks, so our friends with kids can bring their kids, our clients with kids. I feel like we attract really good people, and we want our good people to meet our other good people. And so if you are looking for community in Northern Colorado and you live close to here, like, we would love to connect with you. If you find us and you're online, you can connect with our Facebook group, the Property Wives Facebook group. And that just like fosters community. There's not as much stuff on there. I also have a coaching group, Facebook, if you just want a free space to find community of people that want to grow and heal from religious trauma, heal their money story, heal their story of entrepreneurship, being a female entrepreneur, a female realtor. There's a lot that you need to work through on that. And so, like we said in the beginning, there's like a million, gosh, my hair's annoying me. There's like a million different things that we do. We have a Patreon with a bunch of different offerings. But honestly, the cool thing is I just love our life. Like, I love my life. And like, I don't think a lot of people can really say that. And I want to help more people say that. Like, I want people to be like, I love the relationship I'm in. I love the body I'm in. I love the person I am. I love the person I'm becoming. And the book that I'm in the process of writing is called I Don't Love Myself, But I Want to. And then I have a journal called Becoming, which is a space that can help you in the privacy of your own home, like journal and process through some really tough questions that I was asked through different mentors, different programs, different coaching things that really helped me become the woman I am today, to feel free, to feel aligned, to feel alive, to feel so in love with my life after coming from a Christian culture that told me that I would literally go to hell for this. And I'm like, if this is hell, hell's pretty great, because like life is really, really good. Life is really, really great. I don't know what else to add. What else do you want to add?
So yeah, I'm writing a book. Actually, no, I like have written the book.
You're publishing a book.
I'm publishing a book in like the next couple months.
Farmers markets. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I was just going to give a little synopsis of what my book is about.
Oh, perfect.
But so it's called The Credential of Being Human. And I guess the idea behind the title of the book was that I felt like for years I was chasing my worth through accolades or outside accomplishments or what I did for work or how many boards that I was part of, that I could say I have contributed this much to the world, so this is why I'm this worthy. And then I was in a master's program to become a therapist, but I have such a severe trauma history that it just made me extremely emotional, and it was just really hard working one-on-one with clients. And in the process, I dropped out of that program twice. And at the time I was like writing this book, and I was like, is my worth based solely on if I finish this master's degree, or if I get certain achievements, or do I have worth by telling my story? And I realized in that moment, like, my story is so worthy of being told, and your story is so worthy of being told. And so I wanted to pass that message on to the readers of like, you don't have to have a degree or certain credentials to be worthy of sharing your lived experience. And
So good, babe.
yeah, and so I think it's important to recognize that we just have worth simply by being us and sharing our stories. So that was where the title came from, but it's a memoir through my trauma, addiction, and then my path of healing. I would say when I explain it, it's definitely on maybe the more controversial side if you're looking at it from as a person in recovery, because my journey hasn't been solely abstinence based. And I remember when I like first got sober 10 years ago and I was like, I'm sober from all mind altering substances. There was just this huge debacle at conferences of like harm reduction versus abstinence based sobriety. And like each movement kind of just thought like, this is better than the other, like this is more important. And like they really couldn't see eye to eye and like be like, both of these really play a role in helping our society. And that's really where I stand, is that both movements are so important and save lives. Like both of them are aimed at saving lives. I think that harm reduction is more accessible to minority populations, which I don't believe abstinence-based recovery is as much. And I get kind of more into that in my book, but and probably on future podcasts, and would like love to have more people on our podcast. But yeah, I guess I started doing ketamine assisted psychotherapy last January, and it was monumental in my healing and moving forward with just how I process my trauma. It gave me a lot of clarity on knowing that certain family members just like can't be part of my life as of right now. I'm not saying never be part of my life, but right now it's just not a place that is a healthy place for me. And I don't think I would have reached that clarity without the ketamine. And so I started to see like, wow, I for years thought substances would imprison us, and really they are like, they can help us heal. Some, not all. And I'm not saying that ketamine in every circumstance can be used that way, but in the ways that I used it, it helped me to really heal. And so we kind of talk on our podcast about psychedelics, the use of plant medicines as tools for creativity. I talk about in my book, I try to use them in my integrity. I try to use them not to always just cope with like strong emotions that are coming up, but then I'm the first to admit that I have used them for that as well. They're like on Christmas, I was crying so hard because I missed my family, and I just was like, I just want my family. That's like all I want. And so we went to a dispensary and took a pot gummy and had like, we laughed all night, and we were like, wait, this is considered bad. And so like that kind of got us into like this discussion of the war on drugs. And so our next book is going to be, we're going to write that together and focus kind of like on the war on
happy people.
Yeah. Kaylee came up with the title, The War on Happy People. I know there's a lot of complexities to it, and addiction is a really real thing. So how do you write about addressing addiction, but also addressing harm reduction and keeping people safe that want to use substances?
Yeah. Are you done? I don't want to cut you off. Working on not cutting people off when they talk. But yeah, we're going here. It's crazy. I feel like our lives lately have just been like, we're put in a box and then we like blow the top off the box and we're like, wait, wow, we thought life in that box was really good, but like when we walked outside that box, like life is getting even better. And then we're like, and then we did it again, and then we do it again, and then we do it again. But it's like scary to then talk about it. And so that's also something you can find on our Patreon. Is if you're interested in more conversations and more candid conversations about plant medicine, about Mary Jane, about all these other things, like we are going to have a whole channel over there for people that are ready and open and wanting to opt into that conversation. And you actually have to pay to opt into that conversation, because I believe in paying to play. And I believe in the sense that like we will create so much free content that helps change people's lives. But there's a level that like they say if you pay attention. Like you don't really learn as much from free content as you do from paid content. And also like there'll be two different options. So like one's like learning about them, like true education, and a lot of the education one will be free. But then like the other one is entertainment. And that one you pay to watch Netflix. You're gonna pay to be entertained by people. But learning that in every season of life, like for me, when I left Christianity and I came out as gay, at first I didn't leave Christianity. I just tried playing that whole middle game of like, well, I'm a Christian and I'm gay. And these two things can actually coincide because Jesus actually never talked about homosexuality, which I still believe that you can be a Christian and be gay. I just no longer identify as a Christian, and this is the first time I've ever said that out loud in like a recorded form, and that's terrifying. It's also the first time I've ever said I use THC out loud in a recorded form, which is terrifying. And it's funny because we've been talking about this processing so much that like both of our backgrounds, my religious background, her abstinence-based recovery background, tell us that the ways we use this is so wrong. And we're like, we are above 21. We are doing it in the safety of our home. We are never driving. We are not putting anyone in danger. And we're using it in small, appropriate amounts. And we laugh and we create and we find joy and we find freedom and we find connection in our relationship. And I'm fine if you think that's bad. I'm fine if you think I'm a sinner. I'm fine with all of it. Because I genuinely actually love myself and I'm okay with my decisions and have sat and thought about every single thing that I do. And I do believe that we are living a beautiful life and doing nothing wrong. And if you believe that anything I'm doing is wrong, maybe you're here to learn.
Yeah, I was thinking about how when I came out as gay, someone in my family was like, you know, I'm not mad at you, but like, have you thought of what people are gonna think about you? And it's like, yeah, I've spent my whole life thinking about that, buddy. Like, yes, of course, like, it's just like, you don't need to say that. Like, of course, I'm so scared I sent you a letter that I'm coming out to you, you know? And it's just like, honestly, I feel the most free that I've ever felt in my entire life. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm doing the best mentally that I've done in a long time. I know physically I have some work to do on my health, but as far as like, you know, people said to me, like, if you use THC, like, you'll die, you'll end up homeless, you'll have no money. And like, honestly, it's been nothing but a tool for creativity for both of us and like our business planning and stuff like that. So,
it's literally made us.
So anyone who's listening in that maybe has known the past version of me that was completely abstinence-based, know that I am doing fantastic. Yeah. I will say, like, everyone gets to choose their own pathway. So, abstinence-based definitely works for certain people, and certain people need the rigid structure of 12-step programs. And it was life-changing and saving during my 20s when I absolutely did need a program like that. It felt like family. There was so much greatness to it. I'm just no longer at that place in my life where I need that kind of support group. And I feel like I found other like-minded people that I get to talk to on a daily basis. And I'm just challenging that notion. I'm saying, yay, that's awesome if you found a pathway that works for you, but also like, it's okay to question things. And I felt like that was like,
that's so good.
I felt like that was one thing that people were like, in the 12 steps, didn't love that I was doing so much and being like, well, what about this concept of powerlessness? Like, I am a childhood sexual abuse survivor, so I want to have more power in my life. And they're like, no, but you're powerless. Like, you are completely powerless over people, places, and things. And I'm like, that doesn't resonate with the recovery program that I want, because I want to know that I made these decisions to I made a decision to quit drinking alcohol. And I do believe in God or a higher power or like energy out there. But I also believe I had a huge part in that empowerment process of like, I'm going to give up something that's like absolutely killing me and that's like a poison to me. and then like know that I made a good decision for myself. So I'm just saying it's like okay, and it's like really okay to question things and to challenge different philosophies that maybe you're a part of a group or organized religion or whatever it is. Like, ask questions. Is this really what's best for you, you know?
And I think that's like our biggest thing is being women who felt other from a young age. Like I'm like, we talk about, like, I remember going to kindergarten and thinking someone in kindergarten was really cute, and she remembers going when she was in elementary school to the high school plays and being like, wow, these women are beautiful, and like these very young memories of us. But then we look around and we're like, shit, like I have these private parts, I'm supposed to like someone that has those private parts, like how do I figure this out? And like living the next few decades like that. And then being in AA for her and being in Christianity for me, like, it saved my life. Christianity saved my life. It gave me a relationship with a higher power, and AA saved her life and gave her a relationship with a higher power. And now, and then like in those containers, we were told like, don't go do those things. Don't go beyond the pale. Don't go out there somewhere else. It'll kill you. You will die. And Riley was like, applying for a public speaking thing, because in our manifestation update, we both want to be public speakers. So if you'd like to hire either of us to come speak at an event or anything from any age, we would love to. And we'll keep it age appropriate if you want to hire us for younger kids. And we will make it wildly inappropriate if you want to hire us for the appropriate crowd that's adults. But anyway, she was like, what should I call this thing? And I said, what if the thing that they told me would kill me saved my life? Because that was ketamine for her. Like, people for decades, she had one mental health professional that said, your chronic depression could be helped by ketamine. And she was like, I can't. It's a substance. Like, I can not do it. And so she didn't for like 9.5 years. Mm-hmm. And then she finally was like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to try this. And she tried it, and her suicidal thoughts went down by like, what, 99%?
A lot, yeah.
Like, we're not going to say 100% because all of us are still going to suffer. I still like, am like, like, if I gotta burn in hell, like, I don't know, this life is pretty great, but like, burning eternally in a fire sounds pretty painful. Like, our conditioning runs deep, mm-hmm. and it's hard to pull back those layers, and we just want to create a community of people when we realize, like, we are actually not alone. We're not the only people that have gone through these things. And so this podcast isn't for everyone, and we don't need it to be for everyone. And that's like one of the most freeing things I have realized lately is that there are 8 billion people on this planet, and I just need to reach a couple million. Like, my heart is to just change millions of lives. So out of 8 billion, like, that leaves what? If I want to reach 1 million, that leaves 7.9 billion people that, like, I'm totally okay if you hate me. I'm totally okay if you disagree with me, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm crazy, if you think I'm a sinner, if you think I'm disgusting, if you hate my hair, if you don't like the way I talk, if you don't like anything I do. I'm actually okay with that. And that is like the most freeing thing I've ever realized is like, I'm okay if you think that mushrooms are bad. They have changed my life. I'm okay if you think that marijuana is bad, because I used to too. I used to be a Christian pastor telling people that all drugs are bad. I also don't hate you if you're a Christian pastor telling people that all drugs are bad and being gay is bad either. I just disagree with you, and that's okay. That's the cool thing about living in 2025 is we can all like put our phones on these little ring light thingies, and we get to say like, this is who I am and this is what we want to do. And if you want to come along with us, that's amazing. And if you don't, like, we send nothing but love to you.
Yeah. So where you can find us this summer hopefully we'll be at a farmer's market and selling my book, The Credential of Being Human, Kaylee's children's book that she wrote. And then we're going to have our merch line with like certain shirts that we like designed.
Love over hate.
They say like love over hate. And maybe we'll have one that says like Heal Out Loud or something that kind of goes with our podcast. But we'll be selling that there, and we hope to connect with you there over Instagram or online, social media, or just in person. If we know you and want to get dinner or something like that, hit us up.
Yeah, or if you live in Northern Colorado and you want to come to Property Wife Patio Hangs, that's also on our Instagram at the Property Wives, or I think it's on both of our personal Instagrams as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we love you guys.
Love you.